Happy birthday to the greatest love of my life, my beloved mother. She turns 96 today, January 18. She is no longer just a mother to us, but our guardian angel in heaven. Happy birthday, Mama. Now, for those who have not met my mother, or for those who have known my mother but have forgotten about her, or for those newly born or perhaps teenager as of date that don't have memories of my mother, I want to share to you my memory about my beloved mother, because as I have said, I will spend the remaining years of my life. People will be seeing me. People will be seeing my mother's image through me. Her legacy will be felt, palpable, be seen through me. That will outlive her. Her name, her greatness, her generosity, her discipline, her life, her principle, her values, her legacy will definitely outlive her. So I want people to see my mother through me, and that is my mission in the remaining years of my life. My mother had a very obscure origin. She wasn't born rich. They were the small M, because in our municipality before there was the big M, meaning Molino, the big Molino, the rich Molino, the Buena Familia Molino, and the small M, in which we belong to those category, a small M. Farming, my grandparents, as my mother would tell us, they have a small farm in Lobon, and my grandfather was a choir member. They have a little sari-sari store, but in order to live on a daily basis, my mother have to work selling tuba, or that is local liquor, or the mga kakanin, roaming around the street selling fishes, any items that could be sold, no? When in fact she is not allowed to go up whenever she sells those items to the rich people of Romblon, because she has a very dirty slipper and she would not be allowed to go upstairs on those residences. She just remained downstairs and wait for the payment. That's how obscure my mother was. She wasn't able to finish her studies because she has to take good care of her 3 nieces and a nephew whose parent died during World War II. She helped those orphans to live because they didn't have parents, no? She became the babysitter and the foster mother, aside from taking good care of her parents, because her parents lived with her. And by that time, my grandparents were already of the advancing age, so it has to be my mother who have to work for the family, not just towards her parents, not just to serve her parents, but to take good care of the 3 nieces and a nephew. That's why she wasn't able to finish her studies. But She reached until the secondary level. Then the war broke up, and she took some vocational course also in University of the Philippines, and studied, I think, if in today's translation, stenography, and was able to finish it. And she was a scholar in the University of the Philippines. At the same time, she worked as a food server in a canteen in order to sustain her education. My mother, it's better that you have to hear it from me. My mother was a victim of sexual assault by a military man. That's why she had a baby out of wedlock. But instead of aborting the baby, she carried the weights of being ostracized, discriminated by a very close-minded, conservative society way back then in the municipality of Romblon. She gave birth to that baby here in Cebu, and because the father of that baby was a military man and snatched and kidnapped the baby, went back to, after giving birth here in Cebu, in Lahog, she doesn't remember anymore. I think that's camp, the military camp in Lahog. She went back to Romblon, kidnapping the baby, and after that, the father, or the man who assaulted her, though offered marriage, did not succeed of reuniting with my mother, because she was offered a marriage, but my mother refused to marry that man. All she wanted is to take good care of her baby, despite having to the agony of people's judgment, because during that time, having baby out of wedlock was considered to be immoral. My mother worked so hard, so many odd jobs. She became a housemaid. She became, of course, she made businesses, no? Like going to different provinces and selling native products. Also, and eventually became successful. She established a general merchandise, met my father, and had a business of corn grits, because my father was from Cebu, who was also a military man, a Philippine Navy officer. They put up a business. First it was a barber shop. Then, since my father is from Cebu, they invested in corn grits, a retail business. Eventually, Honda Motors, they became the sole distributor of Honda Motors, Yamaha Motors in Romblon, and a gasoline station. The only capital my mother had was a good name, a good reputation, and hard work. That reputation, she really took good care until the day she died. She left, when she migrated to Cebu in early 80s, she never left any debts, scandals, bad reputes, bad impression from people in the municipality of Romblon. In fact, there were so many people still who were indebted to her, but she had forgotten it. But she, as a businesswoman, she left Romblon with a clear and clean name. That's why to this day we benefited highly from that very good reputation, because it's still bounded on us. The good name of my mother to this day have benefited us immensely. The respect that was given to my mother has been given to us despite being away from our municipality for the longest time. My mother loved Romblon, but she said that the opportunity is in Cebu. Going back to that daughter who was born out of wedlock, she sent her daughter and was able to finish a degree in Bachelor of Science in Nursing, BSN, and went to proceed with a degree in medicine and stayed in Italy. I've migrated to Italy and have lived there for more than 40 years now. It's her choice, and I don't want to touch anything about her. Like each person has their choices. I am not in the position to defend or to discuss her choice. It's all up to her. When the day of reckoning, she will explain it to whoever God she believes or to her own mother. I am not in the position to besmirch or to talk against that lady, because after all, she was my half-sister. At the same time, we respect each other's choices. My mother, who was able to build business here in Cebu, have acquired numerous properties. They have a very good partnership with my father, because my father was a very good public relation while my mother was a very hard-working woman. It was a perfect tandem. My mother was very frugal and austere in lifestyle. She has no times to socialize or to go out with people. That's why she spent her time with her family and business. I think it is from her that I have inherited the passion to care for family, because it has always been the mantra or the philosophy in life of my mother, that as a family you have to live independently. You should not rely your life, your existence to other people. Be accountable with your life. As much as possible, you should not be indebted with anyone else, so that when you go on and when you succeed, nothing will be said against you, because you have not used other people, or you are not indebted to other people. You have achieved that success through your own hard work, dedication, and perseverance. That's why each member of my family have this character of resiliency, have this character of a close-knit family who is very zealous of our family relationship, that we don't go out and talk to neighbors or rely our life, our subsistence to our cousins, to our relatives. Just imagine, my mama, who came here to Cebu, was the only Molino, and she was able to make it, when in fact the remains of her parents, who were previously buried in Romblon Cemetery, public cemetery, were transferred here in our family mausoleum in Medellin way back in 2017. We exhumed the remains of my grandparents, her parents, and transferred it to our family mausoleum. That was the promise she made to herself, that if she will be able to make it here in Cebu, she will exhume the remains and transfer. And she was able to do that. In the remaining years of the life of my mother, she learned to enjoy life. When I came back to Cebu after being away for a longest time, I have dedicated my life to her. Not serving her, but to be with her. Again, it boils down to choices. My choice is to be with my mother. I need not elaborate for those who have watched of the chronicle of my life, of when I start posting it in social media starting 2014. You know very well how beautiful my relationship with my mother. My mother was my life. So don't be surprised that to this day I choose to live a single life, because I can this heart of mine was only intended to love to one person. It was only to my mother. When my mother left, when she was gone, so she took with her my heart. So I am very much incontent because I have experienced the greatest love of my life, and that would be enough with me. Now I am enjoying the remaining years of my life, having her as my inspiration, together with my family. As what I have said, my mother is not just a mother to us now, but she is our guardian angel. To you, Mama, happy birthday. I love you very much. You always guide us from heaven, because you are still and will always be the queen, the matriarch in our family. We love you, Mama. Happy birthday.